Hey everybody, welcome to Bush League Geek. Got a big episode ahead for you today. We've got the anime episode. It's going to be quite intense since we've got some new people here. We've got Quentin join us, one of our good friends, and we'll call him an anime expert. And Monty, another friend and anime expert. And we're going to see how this goes. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. So we're going to start off with Quentin, since you're the featured guest and anime expert. What got you into anime?
I would say I'm an anime expert, but when I was young, I think some of the first things I saw were Ninja Scroll. I thought it was pretty cool, Akira, and that piqued my interest at least. And then I started to watch a few other things. Dragon Ball Z was pretty cool, but the main thing that got me into really, really enjoying it was Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop to this day is still one of the better animes ever produced. It's not. I think as a teenager, I probably assumed what a lot of people assumed and thought it was for kids. That anime was, and it was Japanese. I didn't know nothing about it, but when you watch it, it's actually really good.
You know, a lot of people have the. Of course, it's got the stigma of girls getting raped by octopus tentacles.
Yeah, that's called
tentacle porn.
That's only
not as much of that as you think.
There's not a lot of it. There's none of that in Cowboy Bebop at all. That's a separate genre. Yeah, he came with hentai.
How do you go straight to that, man?
I expected that from Randall.
I'm a newbie.
Professional.
What?
As with everything else, there is porn in anime, just like there's porn for regular TV and regular movies. But this is a very small part, and no, that's not what most people watch.
Fight happens. Oh, my clothes got ripped off.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, you had said that though. You had said like, hey, fight breaks out, and all of a sudden you see tits flopping around.
Yeah,
there are some shows.
Fan service.
Yeah, there are some shows like that, but there are also a lot of really good shows that have almost none of that in it.
So Cody? What was your big thing?
Let's see.
Could we say pop anime cherry? Would that be
pop? Oh, what popped my anime cherry?
Okay. Yeah, what popped your anime cherry?
What popped my
because
anime
we know
as a man?
We know
as
we
a
all
man.
started, like most of us started watching this stuff when we were like 12, 13. So,
Yeah,
so it's a good.
it's appropriate time.
Okay.
honestly, first thing that I ever watched anime, I think it may have been like on Sci-Fi Channel once upon a time, but Vampire Hunter D. That was the very first anime I've ever seen.
It was excellent.
Was that like before
Excellent.
sci-fi became sci-fi? Like, wasn't it something called? Wasn't it?
No, it was Sci-Fi Channel.
It's still Sci-Fi Channel?
Yeah. But yeah, it was just amazing, man. I was like, this is badass. It was like the first cartoon I saw that was like serious. Like the action was awesome and it was really gruesome too. Next after that, I think it was Ninja Scroll, Project, Biko. Was it?
Yeah.
Aiko, yeah.
See the expert. See he had to
The
correct
expert
you.
over here.
Had to
is
correct
correcting
you.
me. These are just the ones to start on, because that's back when Sci-Fi used to have Sci-Fi Friday,
No, it
Demon.
was
Aiko. It was Aiko.
It was Aiko.
It was
It
Boom! Son. Aiko.
Yeah.
Yeah, Demon City Shinjuku.
I like that.
Yeah,
Demon City's cool.
there's a lot of them. But yeah, first series that I really loved, let's see, I started out like on Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that just because it came on TV.
Yeah.
Tenchi
came on.
Yeah.
Back then,
Cowboy Bebop is the first one I fell in love with, though. I'll go ahead and side with Quentin on that. To this day, it's still like my classic go-to anime. It's a perfect series from start to end.
The
music
music
is a character
award-winning.
of its own.
Yeah.
Like I have several of the
I
soundtracks.
listened to some music from it this weekend.
Yeah,
This show came out
me
in
too.
97.
And then the movie Knocking on Heaven's Door.
That was really good.
God, that is probably
amazing.
one of the best movies I have ever seen. Period.
Yeah,
That's
period.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah,
Dude,
and
that's
that song at the end, Knocking
I
at
love
Heaven's
it.
Door, one
I
of my
have
favorite
it.
songs
I
of
have
all
it.
time. That's just
The CD Blue is one of
Blue?
the better ones. When it's one
Blue
of the
from the
OSTs.
very last episode
Yeah.
of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'll tell you what, the way Cowboy
award-winning,
Bebop
literally.
ends cannot be topped.
Nah.
It's
Yeah, I don't know,
Definitely
man.
is.
I felt like some of that stuff was rushed. They didn't bring any of that.
I don't
Who was
know.
that main bad guy? We hadn't even seen him till like the last 3 episodes.
well, I mean,
Oh, they
they
showed it, bro.
dropped them
Play 'em
in
up.
every now and then.
Yeah.
Like they had the first time you ever see Vicious is the 5th episode, Ballad of Fallen Angels.
Yep.
First
Comes out of the
First
church
epic
window.
episode.
It was so clean.
The cinematography in that,
Yeah.
the direction, beautiful.
The
It's
grenades. the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
scene.
Vicious, you
Yeah.
probably only
You
see him.
Vicious a handful of times.
That
Yeah,
sounded like
it's
a
maybe
call
like
out
5
on
episodes.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop's amazing. Cowboy
Yeah.
Bebop's one of
Cowboy
my favorite
Bebop
shows
is
of all
amazing.
time.
Well, let's go ahead,
It is.
Monty. What was your intro into?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get Dragon Ball Z out of the way because I think that's like that's a lot of people's like.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. Everybody saw it on TV. It was
Very mainstream.
it was mainstream. Probably one of
Shows how
the
young
first
you
things that
are.
got big on the mainstream.
Hey,
But
I heard that, Santy.
But I think there was that show and there was Gundam, and I watched both of those as a kid. But at that point, it wasn't. I wouldn't have like said that I just like cartoons and video games like anybody else. And I don't think it was until I watched Big O specifically that I was like, okay, anime as its own thing is a thing that I'm like separately even a fan of beyond like just cartoons on TV in general.
I forgot all about Big O.
It's
Big O.
funny you mentioned being into cartoons and video games because that's a huge thing, and it still amazes me that they've yet to come out with a satisfactory Dragon Ball Z game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only that,
I don't know.
but why
Some of
can't
those were pretty
Xenoverse
badass.
is very
Some of the-
successful.
Yeah.
Successful and
Xenoverse has
satisfactory is not the same word.
Successful
That's very
doesn't
true.
mean
I think it's
That's
satisfactory.
very true.
I mean, Michael Jackson's last album was probably considered successful. Did you listen to it? Probably not.
But take that and flip it around even. Why can't we see why isn't there a watchable freaking Super Mario cartoon show? Like
There
they
used
can't
to be.
break that genre. No,
It
there
wasn't
was a
that good.
show. It was not a good show.
No, as kids we thought that show was awesome.
That comes back to this.
You go back and watch that show now, and you're like, what?
It's
Yeah, but
made of
That's
animation.
kind of like Voltron.
It's like unwatchable.
Everybody in our age group loved some Voltron.
You-
But you go back and you watch it now and you go, wow, I cannot watch this.
Because it's not good.
It's not good.
If
But
you've
that's a
seen
good
one
point.
episode of Voltron, you've seen all 400 episodes
Yeah,
Right.
of Voltron.
and that's actually a good point. I'm glad you thought about that. A lot of people used to watch cartoons like that, thinking they were just regular American cartoons, and didn't realize that a lot of that pulls from anime or is direct anime
See,
anyway.
Transformers.
Transformers.
That's like I was gonna ask, like,
Yeah,
is
a lot
Voltron
of that
considered
stuff.
an anime?
Yeah,
That's absolutely an anime.
yeah.
It's
Like a lot of
Bandai, I mean,
That
that's
is that is the same exact.
it's Gundam, but
I
not
don't,
as
I don't know
good.
what you call what would you call the art style of like Robotech.
Yeah.
And Robotech is very much a huge anime.
There's
And-
lots of that stuff, and a lot of the stuff, even if it wasn't anime, it's similar to it anyway. You know,
Right.
you
Well, and
can
like-
watch He-Man, you can watch anime.
Like with
You can't watch
Transformers.
any of that. Thundercats.
Transformers, Mattel actually had to go to the company that owns the rights to Robotech for Starscream.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
actually
know that.
had to go to them and say, we want to make a toy, we want to make a Transformer that looks like this. Or we stepping on any toes.
Yeah.
It wasn't Starscream. I know which one you're talking about. It was one that was literally a Veritech. They had a Transformer that was actually one of the Veritechs. It did the bipedal mode and everything.
Yeah.
Sure, it was Starscream.
It was.
The original G1?
I'd have to look it up, but I actually had that toy, and I remember thinking,
But
"This is
they-
awesome!" But it was a Transformer, but it was a friggin' Veritech.
Yeah, they didn't have to pay any rights or anything because it was long before anybody cared.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make sure they wouldn't step on any toes.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what was your?
Well,
Jetfire. Sorry,
Yeah, fire.
Found it.
Okay.
most of you guys know me being the youngin in the group. All my stuff I got mainly from Toonami. I agree with him. I just watched it as like another cartoon, just more action packed. Because I watched X-Men, Batman, Spider-Man when I was younger and stuff. So when I saw Dragon Ball Z, I was like, "Oh, this looks really cool. I'm gonna watch it." And the more I got into it, it was really intense at my age because I was only like 9 when Dragon Ball Z first started coming on. And then so Dragon Ball Z.
Oh wait, everyone let that sink in.
it's okay. It's okay. We were probably all actually 9 when Dragon Ball Z actually came out.
By the time it made it to
even
the
younger,
States-
actually.
Yeah,
Well, no,
right.
you're about right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
what I tried to explain to him is Dragon Ball Z came out in the 80s.
Right.
That came
So
out.
by the
just
time
took
you saw
forever.
it,
It started
that shit
in
was
comic in
reruns.
'83.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be like,
Dragon Ball
you
started
watching the
in the
Cosby
80s.
Show fresh right now.
Yeah. In Japan, it would be like that. You go to Japan.
Yeah, I would have to
Cosby
go
Show's
with
awesome.
Dragon Ball Z, Ronin Warriors, and Zoids.
Yeah.
So for that for me was my first couple
Is
anime.
Zoids even technically anime?
Don't think. I was just thinking, and I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
But
I
Raven
used to
Warriors
watch it
is.
too, though. It was awesome.
What about you, Kevin? Gizmo?
I remember that show. I think.
Reboot.
Yes.
Reboot, yeah.
Of course, Dragon Ball Z. But Ghost in the Shell was a big one for me because I think there was a couple movies out there. Of course, I'm pointing at it. For the people who can't see it, there's toys in here or collectibles.
You'll see them on our Facebook and Instagram later, and Twitter.
Because the aspect of Ghost in the Shell, I mean, it was mature enough to where, I mean, they were cyborgs. They had basically stuff implanted in the backs of their necks. They could go up and like hack somebody else or go up to a computer and just like plug into it and then boom, there's a screen right in front of them and they could talk without even moving their mouths. They'd be like, hey, I'm just gonna talk on a Ghost Network. It's awesome. Full Metal Alchemist was another good one.
The first one or Brotherhood?
I liked Brotherhood better.
I loved the first one.
I can't stand Brotherhood.
I like Brotherhood better.
Wait, you know, like, whoa.
Brotherhood is outstanding.
Yes.
Brotherhood is good, but I have an affinity for that first one that I watched. You know, the
They
first
took
one.
all the money and they made it again with way
That's
more
all
money.
they did.
Yes.
You know, which I know, I'm sure y'all know.
Watching the same thing again.
But
I-
Brotherhood is the way
fair
it's
enough.
supposed to be, though. Brotherhood
Right.
is the actual
Yeah,
way it's
honestly.
supposed to be. They said in the first Full Metal, they just changed a bunch of stuff for
Yeah.
almost no reason.
Well, what happened was
Oh, it
that
hadn't caught up yet, I think.
they
is what
made
it
the
was.
show,
Yeah.
and then the show got ahead of the comics.
Exactly
so
right.
she hadn't. The lady that wrote the comic is a female writer and artist on the comic. Actually,
Mhm.
it was just like, well, I guess I don't know what happens yet. So do your own shit.
And they did.
So in other words, it was like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I get that. I'm with Matt. I truly enjoy the original.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the original a lot. I loved it. That's the main reason I watched Brotherhood. But I do like Brotherhood better.
So,
More.
Matt, since you have all the figures and the stuff and the
Well-
things with the peoples,
Just off the figures here, I want to go ahead and say Neon Genesis Evangelion was one of my favorites.
Is that English you just said?
Here,
What?
What did you just say? Neon Genesis?
Neon
Neon Genesis
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
commonly referred to as Ava.
Ava. Loved that one. That one came out a little later. I was already in anime by the time that one came out.
Yeah.
what
Just-
what got you in anime?
What popped my anime cherry was the same. Pretty much, apparently, me and Cody are tunnel brothers on Sci-Fi Saturdays. So, yeah, I just remember it's one of those things where as a kid you purposefully stay up and watch whatever you can at midnight. And Sci-Fi had this thing. You're flipping through channels. If you see cartoons, you're like, well, I'm watching that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember on Sci-Fi Saturday they had played Vampire Hunter D. They played this thing called Robot Carnival. That was like 7-10 minute skits of like different bipedal robot things from anime, and that's what caught my interest, was because I've always been of a mechanical mindset. I've always been the kid to take things apart and rebuild them, and I always had Legos and whatever, like construction sets, and it was just really appealing to me that they had all this technology that didn't exist, and it looked like it would work. So like it's almost like, I guess the technical aspect of anime is what really got me. But there was like the sci-fi parts, and then of course the Vampire Hunter D was completely not technical at all. But the fact that he had a mouth in his hand was like, what?
A smart ass
Right,
mouth, too,
a
man.
smart ass mouth.
Yeah.
And that's where it like, because y'all have made suggestions. I'm not in anime. This is not my forte as far as the podcast goes. That's why everybody else is going to do a lot of the talking. But y'all suggested some stuff for me, and I've tried it, and it just seems like a little over the top kind of thing. Maybe because I wasn't really big into it when I growing up or whatever. But I've tried.
Well,
tried Death Note that everyone suggested.
And not to cut you off, but I feel like I have to say the over the top part is what got me into it.
Yeah.
Well,
Because-
and there's something Matt. There's
Well,
something you have to understand about Japanese culture. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. That
Yeah.
is part of Japan.
Right.
It just
Watch,
gets like-
watch
okay, like,
any of their
okay.
game shows.
For instance, right
Any
now,
of them.
Be real.
I'm watching Attack on Titan.
Which when we got here, I mentioned to you before. Although a lot of people, and it's good, I like the Attack on Titan. I honestly would not have started you with that. I do think that's a bit much to start on. I would not have started with that.
I actually kind of like it now.
It's good.
I'm watching
I
the English
like it.
version.
I
It's
would-
pretty cool.
I would say
But-
the only reason why a lot of people could start with Attack on Titan is because it's starting to become so mainstream. Because you're seeing it as a movie that's coming out soon.
In
You got season
Japan.
1 that's on Netflix. Season 2 is going to be coming out, and they're coming out with the console
feel it.
game.
Yeah, well, popularity doesn't necessarily mean that you'll like it though.
Right.
And that's what we'll get into as far as, you know, for new people getting suggestions. But like with Attack on Titan,
Yeah.
episode 12, whatever, when she's the chick's talking about her 2 captive Titans
Yeah.
that she's got. She's like, "Oh my God!" And like it's just like, you know, that I'm like, yeah.
Let's not.
You haven't seen very many people bleed from the nose when they see a hot girl yet, have you?
Yeah,
I mean,
see,
yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a
that's a-
lot.
that's
There's
an anime
expression that they go over the
Yeah.
top with on purpose.
Oh yeah.
But that's
And it's really
What
funny. I
Peter
mean, I
Bleach
love
does
that.
I think
Oh
that's
my
what
God.
misses me on that. Like I'm
Yeah.
just not like that. Just seems
You
like
watch South Park.
That was his.
For like
and I had to
Yeah,
agree.
he's got
South
you on
Park
that
is
one.
the most over the top cartoon that's been on TV. Almost. At least one of them.
It's over
I
the
love
top.
it,
It's
but
like-
It's like your favorite cartoon.
So it's not over the top.
as far as like
but-
the content on it, it's over the top. But like whenever like Attack on Titan, she says something, and it's that teary eyed with the shit flashing up in the background, and it's just a simple expression of like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
But the way they make
Well,
it seem, it's
yeah.
like she's about to
Yeah.
bust
Well, that was-
into some sort of flying
that was
fucking
done on
superpower.
purpose.
shit.
Yeah,
I think that was done on purpose. Sometimes just to throw a little bit of comedy.
And that's what like I said, that's what misses me about the whole thing because
Well-
it seems like kind of corny.
It's just
So
cool.
you've never watched
and-
Naruto, have you?
No,
Oh no, don't bother.
Well, like every time,
It's
like
good,
in anime,
but
it's like a common thing.
I wouldn't-
Like
I
if they
wouldn't.
see something
It's
hot,
too long
like
for you.
That jutsu.
you see something hot,
Sexy
like
jutsu.
a
I gotta do
girl
that
or something like
jutsu.
that. Blood spurts out of their
Yeah,
nose,
it's
and it's
real
just
funny,
a common
though.
thing. Like if you're ever watching any anime and you just see like, their eyes are blank and blood spewing out, it's because they saw a hot girl. It's just
Yeah.
little stuff like
I,
that.
I
They're
never.
There's several
I've been
different
attracted to many women in my lifetime, and never once got a nosebleed.
Many women.
man.
Yeah.
I've hit my head on stuff. I've
It's a
but the
Japanese
nosebleed
thing.
never.
Wouldn't it be?
happened.
wonder if
Wouldn't it be
It's a
cooler if
Japanese
you could?
culture thing.
I wonder if they followed that from the old cartoons from like
No, it's because in real life they're not supposed to show a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
is that why they over exaggerated it in the animes?
It's a very
Because-
repressed culture, so
Oh,
they have
absolutely.
to
Especially
use
sexually.
other avenues.
I mean, it is.
And that's what just kind of miss it because every time I watch it, even like there's Attack on Titan, there's a couple episodes I've been like, all right, this shit's too much. I'm about to cut it off. But
There's some.
I
We'll
keep
get
wa-
into some. There's a few that I think you can
like
watch
Death
that I think
Note.
you'll like.
Like Death
They're
Note,
really
right?
good. Yeah.
Death Note, I think
Even-
for me starting out was a little too hardcore.
Yeah.
But it was like, I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna get him, and then I'm going to do this, and then he's gonna find me, and then I'm gonna find him again, and then we're gonna find each other, and then we're doing this
That sounds like
together.
Speed Racer.
You know what I
Yeah, it's just like it.
Ha
I just started in with
You know what I think you should genuinely start off with that doesn't have a lot of filler? Trigun.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah,
I was
Trigun.
gonna. I should have mentioned that the very first time.
Trigun is a good story.
Yeah.
It has likable characters. It has
Humor.
plenty of action.
Yeah.
It has comedy.
And it's not over. It's
Drama.
not even close to over the
Yeah.
top for real. Not
Right.
too much, at least.
And this is
Until
where
they start realizing they're
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
Yeah.
They're plants.
well, and that's why I kind of wanted to finish on you know, I kind of wanted to talk to everybody about what y'all got into, and then let you know like what I didn't like about it. Maybe y'all can suggest for people out there that want to get into anime.
Well, one that I would venture to guess no one else here has watched but me, and if you have, my apologies. But it's sci-fi. It's about time travel to an extent. And it's called Steins Gate. It's actually really, really good. It's really good. It's no over the top at all. It's regular people, regular Japan, regular everything. But you could get into that. It's English dubbed, and it's one of the best English dubs I've watched. It's very well casted, very well acted. That hurts a lot of anime. I know a lot of you guys have seen it as well. You get a bad dub, and it can ruin the whole
Yes.
show.
And you do have the benefit since you're. I don't want to use. I mean, you're late to anime,
really
but you're
good.
not because
It
anime
really is.
just is always there. But when we were watching anime growing up, we didn't have the option of good quality dubs. Half
Oh,
the time
yeah.
they were made by fans.
Oh, I'll catch myself sometimes like watching the dubbed version and going, that voice doesn't match. Because you got used to it with the
Sometimes
anime
too.
voice.
It's all the time.
Right, you have production
That was a
values
lot.
now, and they actually spend money on localization and dubs, so you have that benefit.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that we watched,
I watched
Yeah.
even a couple of old ones. I watched one called Scried, in Flame of Recca. Scride was cool.
Yeah, I remember Sky.
Yeah, he's the one with the punch, whatever, get his
Yeah.
arm get bigger, whatever. In Japanese, it was really good, you know, it was really cool. And the main bad guy had a very deep, stoic voice and, you know, a very stoic look. But then when they dubbed him, he had a very high-pitched voice. He sounded almost feminine to an extent, you know,
Like
and
Lupin
it just
the
didn't
Third.
fit.
That's kind of like
Oh.
Frieza in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah,
It
and it
sounds
didn't.
like
Yeah, it didn't fit at
woman.
all. It's like this guy is like hardcore. I mean, he's a scary dude, and his voice is way too high.
You mean like what is it? What's it? Vegeta?
Yeah.
Oh,
But like Lupin the Third, I can't watch it in English.
Yeah.
Period.
Lupin is pretty cool.
He has
too,
been like
though.
the third time. Fourth
Get that
time.
man out of that corner.
All right, if I was gonna start somebody on anime though, if I was gonna start somebody, I think instead of reaching for a show, I would go for a movie first.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
with the shows, you get these big chunks the person has to sit and they have to keep turning it on. With
That's
a movie,
true. That's a good
you can
point.
show them that 2-hour thing.
Hour and a half.
If they like
hour
it,
and
they
a half
don't
at
like
best.
it.
Well, okay,
That's a
so
good
you were
point.
suggesting, what was the one, the car racing thing? I tried
Red
to,
line.
Red
Oh
Line.
yeah.
I tried to explain it to these guys. It's like, yeah, it's about cars and they race and there's shit and stuff.
I would have thought Initial D.
I kept saying Initial D. And he's
Yeah,
like,
they.
no.
No,
I mean,
no, man.
Initial
Red
D is
Line.
long too.
And
But-
I agree. I would start him with a movie. I would start him with Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Yeah.
Well,
Get him
Because it's not
sucked
part of the
into those
series anyway.
characters.
Yeah,
So sure.
yeah, that's
well,
true.
I did get started technically on the live action Attack on Titan movie
Yeah.
that we
That
come
is a
across.
But that's
Bad example.
yeah, that's not a good example.
Because
Right.
I
Anime.
love the
That's
show.
supposed
But it
to
may,
come-
but
that's
see,
supposed to
hold
come
on.
here
But
yet.
Cody did say if you like the show, you won't like the movie, so maybe start the movie first. Well, I started the movie first, and now I kind of get a better understanding of the show.
Yeah, see, my thing was with that movie.
No, still no.
Of course, I loved Attack on Titan already. When I watched the movie,
hasn't
it
been
just
released
like
yet.
to me like it's just if you didn't know
We
anything
found
about
it.
the show whatsoever, it would not be that bad.
Yeah.
Because I actually think they did a good job on the Titans. I think the Titans.
See,
Right,
I
but
like
that's
the-
the
I like
thing.
the Titans-
It's more
the
about
Titans
the
in the
Titans
movie.
than it is
Yeah.
any of the characters.
It
But the
really
Titans
is,
in the
because-
movie were so much better than the Titans on the cartoon. I
See,
think
I
the Titans on the
disagree.
it's a
cartoon
cartoon.
look like they have like
It's not
it
a
looks like they
cartoon,
have
sir.
like
It is
special
animated.
You know what I
education
mean.
issues.
Technically, it's the
They look
same
like
thing.
special- like
Anime
that
is
as
well.
Yeah.
But that's what they're
No,
supposed
in
to
the
do.
in the movie they look a little bit creepier. At
But they
least.
just probably changed it to make it look what they thought was better. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they'll.
I like the creepier look of the Titans.
I
in
like the
movie.
goofy look on the.
I like the
anime.
goofy
See,
look in
I think
anime.
that-
I think
Well,
I think the goofy
no,
look
but that's
of
what
of
makes
them-
them so scary.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, that's where the shock factor comes
It's
from.
the whole.
Because it's like
It is
Did
an
I
anime
upset
thing.
Yeah.
I know, but
They
I
mentioned
was
Frieza.
thinking- I was trying to think.
And
Yeah.
Frieza was the same thing. Frieza was like, he's kind of a small dude. He's sitting down most of the time. He's not like up in people's faces
Yeah.
or like. There's this crazy thing with Japanese bad guys sometimes where they might even be like a little cute or like a little, you know.
Yeah.
But it's the whole time you're like not giving them the credit, you know.
Yeah. It's like, imagine this. Imagine like a 2-year-old baby, right? That's like,
Like Jack?
no, I'm serious. Like a 2-year-old kid, little kids, like 1-2 years old, they don't know the difference between right or wrong. They're like
Yeah.
the scariest things in the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, they are.
Like
Like when
Loose
you're
in
talking
My
about
House,
animals,
yes.
stuff like that. Imagine a kid 50 feet tall, 1 or 2 years old.
And I
And
think that's
we're
why
like
they-
ants. We're like little bugs and
What do
stuff.
they
How's
classify
that
as
gonna go?
meters and meters?
But I'm saying
Yeah,
that's
that's
to me,
good.
that's what makes the Titans so creepy. Is the fact that
And
they
they have
are
that big old
so
grin on their
goofy
face the
and,
whole
like-
time they're chasing you down.
Yeah.
That's creepy. It's like
That just
yeah.
looks goofy. But you see, like in the, but they did that in the movie. But in the movie, they at least had them look like, I don't know.
People?
No,
Here's what I want to know.
Well, no.
Are they ever going to go through and explain why they eat people?
Well, that's the thing.
hope so.
They did.
But they
I thought-
will.
I figured
it
They
out.
will.
I
Hold
thought
on.
they were doing
Because
it.
they regurgitate them into like piles.
I have
Yeah.
a theory about that. If you guys want
But
to
see-
talk.
That didn't ruin anything. Shut up.
Okay,
But
But
Bruce,
we gotta
but
be
this
careful.
but this
Be
is what
careful. You're still watching.
but this is what I'm
Yeah.
saying about the Titans. Though, if you think about it, they look slow, like in the head, slow, and special.
Yes.
And but what their actions prove that they are kind of special, because most of the dumber looking ones just run around and try to eat things. They have no idea what's going on. But there are a few Titans in anime that look like they're very well aware and they have a singular goal and they achieve that goal. So the special ones aren't doing anything that means of any value. They're just crazy,
The abnormals.
hungry.
Yeah.
and that's like watching
You know.
the show. I've kind of come across of where like they're trying to treat them as like simple creatures.
Yeah.
All
That's
they
what I'm
know
saying.
is
for the most part they are.
is
The
to
ones that
eat,
look like it.
and that's it. And then you got the Colossus that's coming through, like the one that's actually got some smarts.
Yeah.
And like, oh hey,
There's a few other ones that look smart. You'll see some.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And
I still
when
got
you
to get into it.
And when you see them,
Yeah.
they will not act like the special ones.
Yeah, they
You
will not.
start
act.
They
back
will
up.
not act like the special ones at all.
Really?
So that's what I'm
You should
saying.
be
Once
done
you
with
see
that
the
by next
dynamic
week.
between the two,
I'll be done with it.
Yeah, I'll just say this: female Titan.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah, you said.
You just wait.
You said, "Have you gotten to the
You
female
just
Titan?"
wait.
I said, "No, not
there's
yet."
another one too. Dude that just runs through the wall. That dude
Oh, the
beat
yeah,
us.
armor Titan.
No,
It was
Armor
the
Titan.
Armor Titan, yeah, the
Yeah.
When it just
But he
runs
doesn't-
to the wall.
Yeah, but he doesn't look special. He had a goal. He said, "I need to do this." Did it and left.
Okay,
Left.
He just bounced.
Booked.
Did
That's
they,
exactly
did
what
they
he wanted
explain?
to do.
Did they explain the whole
No, they-
scientific him being able to transform into whenever he
They
wants
don't know
to?
who he
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
that's
Not in the anime.
Let me just throw out something that's. I feel like there's going to be a lot more to be explained in the series that has to do with his father.
Sure.
That has to do with that
Key
key.
Oh, yeah.
and the
That has to do
basement.
with the fact that anytime he lets blood,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
he turns into a
actually
Titan.
I
But-
read ahead in the
Well,
manga.
he just got to hurt himself,
So-
right? He
Well,
didn't-
here's
I know
what,
some
well,
stuff.
if he has a bloodletting wound, he will turn.
Is it just bloodletting or is it just?
Well, he also has to have a clear goal in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Well-
when he tried to save them, that's part of the reason he was able
What
to
bothers
do
me
it.
about that is
Trying to
they
protect
don't
somebody.
really touch on any of that in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, you
See,
know
that's
how
what
it
I'm
is,
saying.
though. You
The
got to wrap up
story
so
in the
much in a movie.
Yeah,
so
Like
there's
there's
yeah.
nothing about his father. There's no
Yeah.
key.
And
There's no
that's-
It's too much to
basement.
put in one movie.
And,
Right.
and Quentin's right. I mean, so far you're right. If I'd have watched the show and then watched the movie, I'd have been like, "Well, shit, you don't
Fuck
know.
this."
You don't know what's
Yeah.
going on."
Also, and
That's
this
too much
is
for-
one
for
very
one.
important thing: the movie doesn't have Captain Levi at all.
Right.
Really? He's like
I-
the second most main
Oh, I
character
thought, hey.
later on.
Well,
You
hold
know,
on, is that not- is
he's
Captain
known
Levi
as
not
like
the
the
dude at the
strongest
I
man
thought-
on earth.
I thought
alive.
that was. I
Is
thought,
Captain
like, he's
Levi
not
not the
even-
dude at
I
the
thought
end?
that was the dude
The dude that like
that
taught him
had
how to
the
do
chick
stuff.
with him.
Yeah.
I thought that was. I
In
thought
the
that
movie?
was supposed to be
I
Captain
I don't
Levi.
know that
No,
that's
it's
Levi.
not. It's a made up
That's
character.
somebody else.
Yeah, they made that character.
Right.
I see. I was thinking through the whole movie that was Levi.
It's not.
Because Levi in the show, yeah, he's a badass.
That's why I said
Yeah.
it was an abomination.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's go. Okay, we talked about Attack on Titan, and you're right. Chris is right. It's becoming more mainstream and more
Sure.
popular.
Like I said, it mainstream or popular with a lot of people who've probably seen anime, though. I still,
Doesn't mean it's good.
No,
yeah,
I mean,
and I necessarily wouldn't have
but
started
to
with
his
that. I
point,
think
though,
it may be
to
a
his
bit
point,
much.
do you follow something that? Would y'all suggest something that is becoming mainstream and popular, say like Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan, something like that, or Inuyasha, shit like that
I
was
would
on
say Inuyasha would be a good start.
Adult Swim, or would you go with something that,
No, Inuyasha's.
or would you go with something that people haven't heard of?
Well,
Not doing Inuyasha. It's
we all kind of gravitate toward Bebop.
Inuyasha. I mean, that's,
yeah, no,
that-
Inuyasha. Yeah, no.
I honestly think.
Well,
It was okay.
Bebop-
It's an anime.
It just
I know I've
drug
talked
out
a lot
so
about it
long.
already
Yeah,
today,
I like that.
but I honestly feel like Cowboy Bebop's a great.
It's
start.
a great place to
Okay,
start.
you know why Bebop's good for us in general, like just this group? Who in here doesn't love Star Wars?
Oh yeah.
That's
I look
It's
at Bebop.
sci-fi.
I look at Bebop and can imagine that at some point in the future, that's what society.
Yes,
will be
kind of like Firefly. When Firefly came on
Right.
TV, it had some similar time,
Right.
same
Or-
kind of deal. They were both space bounty hunters and whatever.
Here's something I was just thinking about. Is it worth trying to get someone to start on something simple like, say, Pokemon?
No.
Yikes.
No.
Is that
Wow.
is that a disservice
No.
to somebody?
You know,
Yeah.
You're hurting,
like
you're
one
hurting
old
my
podcast.
brain.
I know.
Well, no. One end
It's
is
a,
extra.
It's a fair question. Oh, it's a fair question.
Are you
Pokemon's been
12?
around a long time. There you go. There you go. Pokemon. The problem with a lot
But
of anime.
if you're not going to like that, then are you
No,
really
no.
gonna like
No. I don't even
no,
like
no, no.
Pokemon. But the problem with a lot of anime, though, a lot of people's view of anime is when they see things like Pokemon, they think it's only for kids.
Right.
I would not start them on that because it's just going to reaffirm their.
So
their
you would
thought
go
that it's-
like
that's-
so if you're
that's
talking
as
to an
kid as it
adult, you
gets.
would refer to something a little bit more.
Yeah,
Ghost in the
there's
Shell would be
Ghost in
good
the Shell is a very good
Well,
one.
Well,
It's-
how you were
it's-
talking about starting with movies.
Yeah.
I would absolutely like if somebody's into
Ghost in the
technology.
Shell was a movie too.
Yeah.
Right, if somebody's into technology, if somebody's into sci-fi, I would absolutely. If somebody's likes women, I would definitely say start with Ghost in the Shell.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
an excellent movie.
So
too.
let's go- okay, so let's go
It's
ahead.
actually
It
very
really
well
does
done.
depend
So
on.
let's
The
everybody
standalone complex came after the movie.
What
so
about-
they-
show started on a show or a movie? Is everyone kind of agreeing on?
I think,
starting on a movie?
well, actually, Santi
I wouldn't
and Matt,
have
they made a
thought-
good
I'll tell
point.
you-
I like the Ghost in the Shell movie better than the show.
Yeah.
So if
Well,
I was going to start with Ghost in the Shell, I would say movie for
Cowboy
sure.
Bebop.
All right, let's throw out some movie choices. Me, I would throw out Ghost in the Shell and Akira.
Yep. Boom.
Akira's
Akira's
way
a
out
classic.
there though.
It is way out there. It's also
Okay,
very old.
Jin-Roh. is out there.
Jin-Roh is
and I was
good, though.
actually
It's
thinking
good though.
Jin-Roh
really
might
good.
not be a bad place
Akira
to
doesn't
start.
get out there until
Until
maybe
the end.
the last
Yeah.
half.
But you know,
First two
Jin-Roh
thirds,
is
you're good.
dark.
It's
Yeah,
very
but
dark.
Jin-Roh was written as a live-action movie, and more
Right.
people might be able to associate with the themes.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Little Red Riding Hood in a fucked up like dystopia.
But I mean, it's an excellent, it's well done, story told real well, and it's not. I don't think it's super far out there, and I know we have
I
a
was coming
low. Our bars are different than most people,
Yeah.
but I still think the Bebop movie is a great place to
I do
start.
too. I have to
I
agree
think
with
it's
that.
excellent.
And like you said,
And
I
then
think
after
Ghost in the
that, you
Shell
can watch the
is
I
very
would-
easily
I would
one
want
of
to
the
watch
better.
the Bebop show before I watch the movie.
But see, you being invested in the characters, you
I hear what
know
you're saying.
more about
Yeah.
them,
Definitely.
and it's super high quality.
It's,
Yeah,
a, it's
yeah.
a smart place to start. I think that's like the only con though, is that like, oh, but you want to see this show.
But it would be a gateway. It would
Right.
be like, well, I really enjoyed
would
this
lead into
movie.
it.
Let's find out more about the characters, and then once you're through Bebop, we can go from there.
You know what would actually be a really good beginner movie for some people,
Hmm.
depending on what type of genre they're into? Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
We were about
We
to
were
get to that.
just
And
about to
a lot of
get
the
into
Totoro fans,
Miyazaki.
depending on who your
All
friend
the-
is. Like, if
yeah.
your
Just
friends
about to
just
get
like
All the
cute
Studio
stuff,
Ghibli stuff.
go with Totoro. You know.
Well, right. That's what I was going to say. You could segue Princess Mononoke into
Yeah.
the entire Miyazaki collection.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is
Spirited Away
Spirited
was
Away.
amazing.
It was
Away.
absolutely
And
fantastic.
But it's
though.
it's a
I
good
feel-
story for
yeah.
children and adults.
Yes.
It is.
When I first
And I
watched it, I
feel-
was
yeah,
thoroughly
a
surprised
lot
at
of
how good it
people,
was. I really was. And I think it
will
won
relate.
like an Academy Award or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it won a few awards.
Yeah, I think they've.
Yeah,
so-
they.
So, I
He's,
mean, yeah,
for
if we
people who
do-
don't know, Spirited Away is Hayao Miyazaki, quoted as the Japanese Walt Disney.
Right.
So a lot of his
Which
movies.
is funny about that.
Yeah, I know. A lot of his movies will appeal to a younger crowd, but as well as an adult crowd, just like Disney movies now. Disney, you can get young and old. But his stuff to me is better than Disney stuff anyway.
Princess
You
Mononoke
wanna
definitely.
picture the
more
back of the
favorite.
shirt?
When-
No, absolutely, absolutely.
I guess
See,
in
like
the
My
US
Neighbor
it is
Totoro,
Disney.
House Moving Castle,
Do you wear a
stuff
shirt
like
on
that.
purpose like
You
that?
can go
No.
all over the place.
Kiki's Delivery Service.
You want to know one that's out there though? I'm just looking up just top-rated anime movies because I've seen most of them. I'm just trying to think of things to actually throw out. Paprika.
Yeah. Any of his
Fucked
stuff.
up movie.
That
Yeah.
made my head hurt.
All of his show, you Paranoia Agents a lot is great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Um,
was pretty good.
You know what one of my favorites is? God, what is that summer movie?
Yeah, that's
Summer
the name
Wars?
of it.
Summer Wars.
Summer Wars.
Oh, and I have not watched it. I heard it was really good.
That is one of my
You know what's,
favorite.
you know what's
and
funny
it's
about
good.
Summer
I
Wars
have
is
not seen it yet.
I wasn't big into Pokemon when I was a kid. What I liked was the other Pokemon.
Digimon? Yeah.
And they made a movie.
Dude,
they made a
Digimon
Digimon
was
better.
movie.
Digimon.
Digimon was good. I used to watch that on Saturdays.
Oh yeah, but wait. So
I
the
thought
Digimon
Digimon was-
movie
I like
was
Digimon.
3 Digimon movies that they
Yeah.
recut into one movie for us American audiences. And there was 1/3 of that movie, the first third of the movie, that was fantastic. It was the fucking bomb. There's a giant dinosaur and some little kid, and the dinosaur is standing in the middle of Tokyo shooting a fireball at a parrot. But that part of that movie was directed by the same guy that did Summer Wars. And for until I was an adult, all of my friends that were also happened to be cartoonists, I'd be like, you gotta watch this Digimon movie. I know, it's stupid. Just watch the first 20 minutes. The animation's amazing. And they were like, man, I ain't want to watch no Digimon movie. But then they made Summer Wars, and I could show people the Digimon movie through Summer Wars because the animation was the same, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I don't think Akira is a really good place to start. I mean, it's where
It
a
might
lot
be
of
rough.
It's where a lot of
started.
people exactly, but I agree.
But
I wouldn't get someone who's never watched anything like
If
that
we sat
unless I
Brooks-
knew they were into a lot of weird.
If we sat Brooks down,
You like really weird shit.
Yeah, you like
Here's
weird
a movie.
shit.
if we sat Brooks down to watch that, we'd never get him to watch anything else.
No, we lose him. We
Ever.
might lose him
He
forever.
would be gone.
He would be so concentrated on the weird little kid.
Yeah.
In the
Like, what's going on with his arm?
in like the bubble.
But I
People
do
just
think
exploding for no reason.
I do think we need to sit him down, and as a group, we need to watch the Bebop movie.
What is going on with his arm?
I got it.
Yeah.
I think.
But you know another good suggestion, but not for Brooks to be a first movie, is if you guys have seen this, the Metropolis, the anime Metropolis movie.
Yeah, I saw
There's
it.
lots of people on that.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
That makes me
That's
think
a little
of
bit
that makes me
weird,
think
too.
Appleseed.
Yeah,
Yeah, Appleseed.
Appleseed.
Eh. But yes,
And
I
Armitage. Armitage was one of the
you know
first
what
ones I watched.
You know when
way
I
back,
actually
and I
watched
liked it a lot.
Metropolis was when you could still rent VHS.
That's me too.
Right.
We're all dating.
I rented
ourselves.
that, and then I rented Akira, and I watched those, and I had gotten a turtle from outside. It had broken a leg, and I was keeping it in my room and not telling my parents. And I watched Metropolis and Akira, and he would not take his eyes off of Akira. But the whole time I had Metropolis on, he had his butt faced right to the TV. That turtle loved Akira and hated Metropolis.
I don't know. For me, I got out of anime for a while because, I mean, I was just young when anime came on. I was like, oh, this looks really, really cool, and I watched it. And then just recently, in the last 2 years, people started telling me about all these shows and stuff, Bleach and everything like that. And they told me Bleach would be good because I enjoy Dragon Ball Z so much. But the person that got me into anime was actually Cody, because when we were at the bar, he was like, Death Note is the Breaking Bad of anime. And that caught my interest because I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. And when I watched it, I completely agree. So when Cody or anyone else says that they have to, it matters on their preference on type of TV,
Sure.
I would agree with that.
Absolutely.
Because I would have got back into anime. I wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for the fact that he mentioned something about it being like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And then after I started watching it, it started making me feel like more as like Sherlock Holmes type of feel to it. So.
That dude was a genius. The way he pulled that off, and
And that's one of the things I love
then it
most
came
about
back
it. It's
full
just
circle
the
back to
genius of
him.
it. Yeah.
And it's like you know his plan, you know all the people's plan, L and everything like that. But out of nowhere, there's this twist that you had no idea was part of the plan.
See, that's
and
what
you're
it
just
is.
like
It's how he
mind
gets out
blown.
of stuff.
Yes.
And you're like, wow. Like, there was this one episode. Well, I don't want to get into any spoilers to anybody.
Old
but
is that anime?
So-
We're worried about
so-
spoiling.
Hey, we are talking about getting new people
I'm
into
just
it.
saying,
Yeah,
we're
you're
talking
right.
about getting people.
So for me personally, I kind of would still consider Death Note being a good starter point, even though it is kind of out there and you have to be real serious while watching to some people, a cartoon.
Yeah.
I think it's a great show to start off with, especially if you're used to drama TVs and
Yeah.
really intense shows.
Yeah, mystery.
Well, in that
Suspense,
case,
thrillers.
Prince of Tennis wouldn't be a bad place to start people if you're into the drama type stuff.
Yeah.
I got a guy to watch, and I knew he liked weird movies. You know, he was like a guy that would watch 2001. I got him to watch Tech on Concrete, and that really worked on him. I got a guy snatched up with Tech on Concrete.
Another one that I think you should watch, Chris, since you like that kind of stuff, is Code Geass.
Code what?
Code Geass. Yeah, GEASS.
Oh yeah, it's right here on my anime
Yeah,
list.
you would like that. If you liked Death Note and stuff like that, Code Geass is solid.
And I honestly, I really enjoyed Bleach also.
Mhm.
Other than of course all the fillers and stuff. I do, like I was telling Quentin earlier before we started the podcast, I feel like it's the same as Dragon Ball Z, just a different environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's something to think about, I guess. What is something that any of you can throw just off the top of your head think of? Well, that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. That's the most fucked up thing I've ever seen.
Akira.
No, I'm not even close.
Well,
Final Fantasy Unlimited.
because for me,
No, I'm saying like for instance, I'm
Like
looking at this
like a
list
point-
and I'm looking at Pompoko and I'm like,
That was weird.
Oh man, I love Pom Poko.
these motherfuckers use their nuts
They do. It's so cute.
for everything.
Fruits Basket.
For
So
everything.
do you mean a weird
Like
weird
weird
anime or a weird point in an anime?
any of it? So like, I don't know if I was traumatized or amazed when I saw these dudes bounce off their nuts for the first time. But then there's things like, there's Full Metal Alchemist where the dad turned his
Yeah,
little
that shit
girl
was
into a
dumb.
chimera.
Yeah, that was
And
real
then Scar
dark,
came
bro.
up and killed her.
Yeah.
And things that
That was
like
excellent. That's
things
well-
that
very well
attach
done,
you
though.
to these animes, things that like they will burn. They are burned into your
Yeah.
mind for good or for better or for worse.
So
The
you're saying it
Sphere
had
of
like a car-
Destiny.
It was like a car wreck effect where like
Sure.
you couldn't like
Yeah.
you didn't
Destiny
want to watch, but
Ava.
you had to keep watching.
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here watching
Oh,
Ava.
yeah.
I'm loving
Yeah.
all of these mechs, and then all of a sudden, we've gone all religious. What the?
Oh, now
What just happened?
Evangelion had such a weird agenda of religion to it
Yeah.
that it just tied everything in, and it was almost like the angels were actually the good guys.
Yeah.
But I mean,
because they
you're
were just
sitting-
trying to get to Adam.
You're halfway through the series, and then all of a sudden, where did this come from?
Just to play the bad guy here and to give a little bit of a contrast, my brother and I both agreed, and we, in a minority here, we feel that Evangelion was overrated. I'm gonna throw that out there. I know a lot of people love it. I truly felt Evangelion was a little.
Have you seen any of the new?
No, the 2.0 or whatever.
Really?
I've heard they made it a lot better. I've heard that
because it's not as drawn. It's almost like at that time
It was too
they
drawn
felt
out.
like they had to do that many episodes.
Yeah.
Where in the 1.1, the 2.2, 3.3,
Yeah.
it's better because it's more compact.
And I've heard that, and I may give it another shot. But when I first heard about it, it's like anything in life. You hear, "Oh my God, it's amazing, 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 amazing." So I'm thinking, this is going to be amazing. And I started to watch it, and I'm like,
Well, see, I guess one of my attacks
this
was
is not amazing to me.
The
It
reason
was
I got-
good. I'm not going to lie and say it wasn't good. It was
Right.
definitely good, but it just wasn't as high.
The reason I got so attached to it is because I wasn't into it and I hadn't heard anything about it until
Oh,
somebody
yeah,
brought
I
the first
heard a lot
DVD
of
over.
it.
Me
I heard
too.
a lot
I
about
started
it, that's
watching
why.
it on Toonami.
And see, I probably would have been better off had I not heard about it.
Well, see, that was one of the first. It wasn't the first, but it was one of the first. I'd say within like first 6 months of watching anime, it was one of the first things I ever watched.
Right.
Oh,
we
really?
were probably what 19, 18.
Yeah, that and
You watched
Trigun
that?
are where we. I mean, it was.
So we're talking
over with.
We're
for
talking
me.
like 15 years ago. Before
Oh
anybody
yeah, it's old.
I don't want to sound hipster about it, but before anybody was talking about
Before it
it.
was cool.
Oh hey, I watched Trigun, Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, all that. I
back
started with
when
all
you
that in the
had-
late
Outlaw
90s.
Star,
Back when you had to buy them
I
from
still-
Suncoast
I
and
still
you had
I
to
own
actually-
Outlaw Star.
When you had to pay $27 for one disc that had
Suncoast.
4
Back when you had to go to
episodes on it.
Suncoast Video at the mall and get one of them and then wait for the next one to come out.
Hey, I watched the first 160 or 70 episodes of Dragon Ball Z in English on TV, and then I really liked it. And then I had to watch the last 140 episodes in Japanese,
That's
renting them from a Japanese store when I went to college in 2000.
I remember like, I got so upset. I bought all of Robotech when it came
Oh,
out
yeah.
individually at like $30 a disc.
That's
And
how,
now you can go buy all of it in one box set for like $50.
That's how Cowboy Bebop was when it first came in Best Buy. It was $25 per DVD. It was 6 DVDs. It was $150, and I got the collector's edition for $30 for the whole.
Can I
series.
tell you
I bought the
That was
Blu-ray.
crazy.
I can't even describe to you how many of these I had, how many sets of these I had, like
Yeah.
Tenchi, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex,
I had Tenchi. I
Evangelion, all of that. I bought them. That was when eBay was brand
Yep,
new.
I got
and
everything on
and
eBay.
you get those trifold sets
Yep.
from like
That's all the Tenchi I
Black
had.
Market
I
Nowhere.
had Tenchi, Slayers, all of that. Cowboy
Right.
Bebop, my Outlaw Star, all of that is to try.
There would be that one DVD that has like 10 episodes on it with no
Yep.
chapter divisions.
Nope, just a run on. It was great. Yeah, everything I got was cheap, just like that.
Right.
Like I'm not going to Best Buy.
$30 a set.
$100 a
I'm
series.
sold. You
I
printed
remember, matter of fact, and I know we mentioned before this, a couple of us mentioned how cool Fooly Cooley was, FLCL.
Yes.
6 episodes
Yeah.
long.
on DVD.
On DVD, it was like
Yeah.
They
$150.
put 2 of them
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
box.
I
You had to buy
downloaded
4 different things
Like
to get 6
$150
episodes.
for
You know what I
a
have
6
here?
episode series.
Those
Is the
are
most expensive thing
ridiculous.
I've ever seen in my life.
That you know what
It was amazing.
that reminds me of because I actually bought them at the time.
That one was also
Chobbits,
really weird.
Oh yeah.
Read or Die.
Yeah.
I bought
Yeah.
Read or Die.
Read or
instead.
Die was cool.
Read or
Yeah,
Die was
man.
amazing.
I loved it. Yeah, I thought that was actually really good.
That's one
I think
that
that
just-
was another one started with movie first, right? And then went to
Yeah.
series. Yeah.
And-
I would start with a Read or Die movie. I thought it was pretty cool.
That was actually that would be a good one to start with. But
Yeah.
that was one of those that like flash in the pan. You
Yeah,
it
yeah,
came
yeah.
up. You had to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
through. You didn't.
Yeah.
Gone.
It's
Yep.
true.
I don't think the series did as well either.
I saw it
the
once
movie.
on TV when I was young. That's like the only time I've ever seen
Yeah,
it.
it was
And I
really
remember
cool, though.
being
I
like,
definitely like that.
"This is awesome."
It's amazing, right?
She's using dollar bills as a sword.
So let's.
Like, she's using a book.
So for this, like I said, we're doing a 2-part show because we have a lot of, well, you guys have a lot of passion about anime and can keep going for a long, long time. So we want to kind of break this up. So we're going to end this segment with, should people go mainstream anime or
Should they look
Fun.
for deep dark corners of anime?
Deep dark corner.
Down the road.
I would say
Yeah.
it matters. I would say it matters on.
It has to matter. in the
Are they
person.
trying to watch some stuff in the background, or are they just trying to actually really pay attention to something? Because I know a lot of people that watch anime as they like do schoolwork.
But it's not the
or
first time
whatever.
they've seen it then.
Yeah.
See, you can watch Dragon Ball Z like that.
Yeah.
But that's a
cannot-
fair point. Yeah,
You
can
cannot watch
Bebop
Ghost in the
in
Shell that
Japanese,
way.
man.
No.
Ghost in the Shell goes into like deep
Politics,
political
deep
corruption.
politics.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
it
like for
is.
instance, Death Note,
You have
I
to
can't
really-
watch that in the background. That's
No.
something like you have to really focus on. So
Well,
you
even
can actually get all
Death
the
Note's not as
details.
bad. Ghost in the Shell is probably one of the hardest ones to
There's
watch.
so much
you have
dialogue.
to really pay attention. It's a lot. It's
The
a
worst thing in the
dialogue
world
show.
is like
You have to pay a
is
lot of
watching
attention.
that
I
subtitle.
started to get lost in that.
Because it's so good.
I hate
But it's
subtitles.
you literally are reading a novel
Yeah.
to watch that show.
So to answer your question, Brooks, it depends on the person.
It does depend.
It depends on the person, but I will say this: popular can also mean accessible. So you should pick your person, but generally,
Yeah.
you want to give them something that they'll have a good chance to latch onto.
Yeah.
Good call.
And I think we've kind of done you a disservice, and we need to work on that. We need to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there-
Death Note was not the first one I should have
No.
watched.
No, but like I said, there are shows like obviously Cowboy Bebop. I think we're probably in consensus is one of the easier ones to start with. Trigun, I agree too. Same thing.
I like Attack on Titan. I got it in
Samurai
English, so-
Champloo was actually pretty cool. It's not over the top. It's about old Ronin samurais, a long time ago, and it's easy to follow.
Yeah,
but with a hip hop spin on it.
Very.
One that we didn't mention that Cody got me watching was Gungrave.
Oh yeah, Gungrave's too over the top to start with.
But it's
But the first half of
I
it,
like
Based
that
on a
game.
game.
The actually-
we
That
talked about that
has
earlier.
one of the best storylines.
the first part of Gungrave has an excellent story. It's
Yes.
Scarface.
Okay.
It's Scarface.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
drawn out. It's, it's
Can I
excellent.
throw out an
man. It's pretty
American
cool.
anime that's completely stupid that you'll all go, oh, about? SWAT Cats.
I love SWAT Cats. You kidding
Well,
me?
yes,
American anime,
I
right there.
absolutely
Well, if we're
love
gonna
it.
go that route, let's at least go super great production values and Samurai Jack,
Samurai Jack is
Yeah.
because that is anime.
Samurai Jack had an entire episode.
So
where no one
with
spoke.
that,
Afro
It was-
Samurai was
it
really
was
good.
so when we come back, we'll
Actually, that
talk.
show was almost
Boondocks,
silent.
not Boondocks.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll talk more about,
What's it
say,
called?
American anime, things like that.
Our favorites.
Is
Exactly.
there such a thing?
So
Yeah,
should
no,
I?
that's really. But
So-
I know what you mean.
There's so many.
What was the
Until
big one?
next show.
Until next time on Bush League Geek.